So here's my audience. All right. Okay, so my name is Leah Bingham, and as many of you know from my previous speech that I did for my introduction, I'm a competitive rock climber. I've been climbing for the past couple of years, and I compete for the MTSU team as well as just competing in local competitions for fun. I came from Knoxville and I originally climbed at a gym there, and now I climb in Murfreesboro. I used to be a competitive gymnast, but due to a severe back injury, I unfortunately had to quit, and I ended up coming across the sport of rock climbing my freshman year of college, and I fell in love with it. Climbing is something that pretty much everybody does from a young age. Climbing trees in your backyard, climbing monkey bars, the jungle gym, or maybe even going to a birthday party at a climbing gym and getting to climb there. Most people outgrow it, but for some, that desire to climb and just go up and just adventure never really goes away. For those, climbing can become a source of happiness, a lifestyle, stress relief, especially for college students. It's definitely what it became for me. Climbing dates all the way back to Yosemite Valley in California. Yosemite Valley in California is known as the holy grail of rock climbing. Although most rock climbing started outside, there are gyms which can provide a safer alternative for those that may be a bit overwhelmed by going outside. There are so many different factors that play into rock climbing, including equipment, training, certifications, and so much more. It can definitely be a bit overwhelming. So when we climb outside, we have a few different types of climbing. The first is bouldering, which means that you're climbing a surface that's typically not any higher than 15 feet. You have crash pads below you for if you fall, and you typically don't have any type of gear other than shoes, of course. So for rock climbing, I have my shoes here. The rock climbing shoes have leather on the bottom, and mine have laces on them because I like them to be super tight. These are going to help you so much when you're on the rock. They're super, super tight so that you can use your toe and your heel, which are going to be a lot easier than using maybe like tennis shoes. So these are definitely something that you always want to use when you're climbing. They're really the only thing you need when you're bouldering. The next thing that you typically use when you're climbing outside is chalk. So this is a chalk bag. If I wanted to, I could put it around my waist, and the chalk dries up the sweat on your hands to help you stick to the rock better. The next type of climbing outside is going to be top rope and lead climbing, which is where we introduce the ropes. With top rope climbing, someone is at the bottom and is controlling the ropes for you. So if you fall, you're not really going to go anywhere and it's not a big deal. This is a great type of climbing for beginners. The next type of climbing is lead. With lead climbing, you have to climb up and clip in the rope as you go. So you're leading the rope up the cliff as you're climbing. For that, you need special equipment called quick draws. When you're climbing, you'll click the draw into the rope and click it into the rock. That way, one end has the rope, one end has the rock, and you know that you're in there safely. So typically, you'll carry these up on your harness, which I've also got right here. My climbing harness and my draws, which I would take up with me as I'm climbing. The last type of outdoor rock climbing is trad. And with trad climbing, it's much more dangerous and you typically take your gear up with you. So there's not a place to clip these into the rocks. You have to physically place the bolts into the rock yourself. I don't have much experience with this kind of climbing just because it is very dangerous and it is a lot riskier. I've done it a few times, but it's definitely not my favorite. If this all seems a little bit overwhelming to you, that's totally cool. Indoor rock climbing is another alternative. Indoor rock climbing is typically a lot safer and a lot easier for beginners as there are mats and there are people there that can help you. They can give you certifications, teach you to belay, and use all the equipment properly so that you don't accidentally injure yourself. A popular climbing gym in the area is known as Climb Murfreesboro, and it's where the MTSU climbing team climbs. If you go there for the first time, typically you can use a guest pass if you know a member and get in for free. You get to learn to use the equipment. They have plenty of equipment you can use, including shoes, chalk bags, harnesses, everything you need. And you can climb safely with the mats there to catch you when you fall instead of hard rock. I know that this is definitely something that a lot of people would prefer, especially if you're just climbing for stress relief or for fun and not actually for sport. So in conclusion, rock climbing is a sport that's constantly evolving. There's so many different things you can do, whether it be trad climbing, sport climbing, bouldering, or even just climbing inside, just whatever makes you happy and comfortable. Climbing includes so many different things, so many different factors that make it interesting. It's great stress relief, it's almost like problem solving skills because of the puzzles that the routes provide for you. Rock climbing is constantly evolving, and it's actually about to be in the 2020 Olympics for the first time, which is pretty amazing. And I can't wait to watch it, and I hope that you guys watch it too.